Hey guys, this is TechnoWizard, and this is a plugin tutorial for CommandsForSale. CommandsForSale is a plugin I made back last year that lets you block commands for users until they buy them. So, maybe you want your, let's say, you don't want your noobs to be able to use the command, I don't know, explode, but you want your warlords to be able to use explode. But you also want the warlords, to have to pay for it to be able to use it in the first place. This is the plugin for you. You can go, make it so only those warlords can buy the command, only those warlords can use the command. So, of course, you're going to go into Dev Bukkit, or Bukkit Dev, however you pronounce it. I usually get it wrong, because I base it on this. And you're going to go download the CommandsForSale plugin. Obviously, it can be found by just typing CommandsForSale in here, or just Bukkit CommandsForSale in your search bar, and this will come up. So at the time of recording this, the newest version is 1.2.4 R1. What I have right here is the actual code you're looking at, and you can see this is 1.2.5. I'm doing this tutorial 1.2.5 because 1.2.4 has not been approved by Curse yet, but it's probably going to by the time this video is up. So I'm going to continue. So of course you go to here to download something. If at any point you find a bug in my code, please create a ticket. I'll help you very quickly. And yeah, lots of stuff in here I'm going to go back to a few times. The other two things you're going to need for this plugin to work correctly are Vault and Permissions EX. So what this is, Vault basically lets me use a ton of economies. Oh, I should probably add. You're going to need an economy. I recommend Essentials. Essentials Bukkit. Why did I not have that up? And then here's Essentials. Most people know what this is. It's one of the most popular plugins for Bukkit of all time. Of course, it has the Essentials in it. It has an economy inside of it too. Of course, you also have Boz economy, iEconomy. Although don't use iEconomy, it's severely bugged and it will delete all of your data on certain triggers. And other thing you're going to need is a permissions plugin if you want. Underneath most circumstances, most servers do have these, so you probably have either Permissions EX or Group Manager. I like Permissions EX, so I'm endorsing a little bit here. And continue. You don't actually need this if you don't use permissions or groupings on your server. So we're gonna go take that jar, download it, and you're gonna drop it into your server inside of the plugins folder. You notice I already have it dropped in here. CommandsForSale's in here. I've already done all of that. And I have Essentials in here, Permissions, and Vault. It might seem like there's a lot of things that this plugin depends on, guys, but you'll find a lot of plugins depend on these things. So let's go start up our server. I have a shortcut here. Yours is probably inside of the folder. And I do have Minecraft open, but we're not going to use it just yet. What we're going to be doing is configuring this, setting it up. Now, if I go too quickly or you're having difficulty following along, I do have something here with the configuration right here. This is a website that, it's on my website, that will help you set this up very quickly. Well, at least configuration. So let's go. Oh, we have 3 of these open. We'll go to CommandsForSale. You're going to open config. Now I have Notepad++ installed, which is obviously Notepad+. It's a lot better than Notepad because it's not all on one line. This is a Windows only kind of program for the most part. As far as I'm aware, it only works in Windows, but sorry, Mac people. Besides, text edit, I think what it is. Text edit's much better than Notepad anyway. You should be okay. You see this comes up. So we're going to go with, starting here, updater on. Updater on means that the updater in the plugin is checking for updates. I really advise you leave this in true. Basically means it tells you when there's an update. It's not going to do anything else. Automatically update will go and automatically update the plugin for you. This has been a bit buggy recently, and I do apologize for that. I do really recommend setting it on true because you really can't do any harm. It just it messes with things on my side, not your side. You won't have a single problem. So I recommend leaving this to true. If you're viewing this in the I guess you could say, I don't know, a while after this has been posted, you might notice these fields are gone. I do plan on getting rid of the automatic updater because it is incredibly buggy, and I just have constant problems with it. Actually, I think more than half of the problems I've fixed from 1.2.4 to 1.2.5 are going to be from the updater. Time between update checks. So what this does is it's the amount of minutes between the amount of minutes between when it checks for the new update. Again, this is probably going to stay, as far as I'm aware. The automatically update's probably going to disappear. Currency plural. So that's your currency. So let's say you're in Mineplex and you're using gems. Gems. Done. Obviously plural. Leave it in its plural case. Plugin prefix. So this is what players see when they have a message come up. So in the console, you can see CommandsForSale comes up here. We can change that. So let's say you want it to be command shop. Let's set the command shop. And you can put spaces in here. So then, I believe when it's notifications for the plugin itself will still show up as CommandsForSale, so you know that it's working. But to players and to things that aren't based in the plugin itself, but the plugin's functions, it will show up with that other one. It'll show up with command shop. GUI enabled. I might get rid of this in the future again. This is when GUI's, I just made the GUI. It's what lets you click on buttons inside of an inventory. It's very aggravating otherwise. I really recommend leaving this at true. Eventually it will not be a choice anymore. So again, if you're viewing this in the very far future, this field may be gone. And you can ignore these two for now, and we're going to save. CFS reload. And what this does is, and you get to do this in the console or as an operated player. What this does is it tells the plugin to go and check the command folder, or the command, oh geez, how am I saying command? The configuration file, and update stuff. Make sure it's reflecting this. Make sure you do save this first. And I'm gonna hit enter in there, and you'll see, yep, plugin was related to either a configuration that's been corrupted or it is empty. Not operate with any commands. So what it's saying is we don't have any commands yet, which I know, and I'm going to show you what to do with that. So, yeah. So we need to add some commands into here. Really need to add some commands into here. So let's do that. So, okay, this means there's an update available, and it's telling me there's an update, even though I did tell you guys that I am using the newer version of what's on Bukkit Dev right now. The reason it's telling me that is because the update check just checks to see if it's the same as the newest version. So if it's actually newer, it still thinks it's older. You can ignore that if that does come up, or in your case, I think that would be correct. Unless you're using some of the older versions, they are bugged. I will warn you. So for this tutorial, I'm going to be turning this to false because it is a little bit misleading, because I do have the newest version. It's because I'm using a newer version than what's on Bukkit Dev. Okay. So now we're going to add in a command. So we're going to do CFS. CFS stands for CommandsForSale, guys. So CFS adds CMD, and let's call it balance, because I don't know of any servers that don't have that. Balance. Good. And this tells you it's added, and go check the configuration, that a few things. But first we need to do one more thing. Bal, just BAL is very, very commonly used for stuff. So we need to I was making sure this is working. We need to make sure we block this too. So we're going to CFS add alias balance. So the thing that's right here, balance, you might be saying, but we're not adding balance, we're adding bal. Yes, balance comes before bal, so we're telling the plugin what to add. because we're putting bow into balance. So when you buy balance, bow isn't locked. It works with it. So then good, it's added in. And you guys might notice that this isn't directly from the plugin, it isn't an update message, so it is saying command shop. And if you aren't getting this warning, or in a warning saying it's been changed, you might need to close and open the file for it to change. And you see it shows up. Again, Notepad, you might need to go and close and open the file again. Don't save, or you might, mess things up. Or at least here. And you'll see commands option shows up. And under aliases, we have bow marked underneath balance. Super good. So let's set a price for this. How about 5 gems? And maybe we want our users to be able to buy it once. They don't have to immediately pay for the full price. So let's make it 1, just to use it once. And permission. Permission is the field that makes it so, let's say you have groups and you have different ranks, and you want a certain rank to have, or a certain rank to be able to use something, and a certain rank to not be. So you don't want it to be able to buy it until they get to a rank. So you add a permission in here. You make up your own permission. If you leave this as void, it considers it as no permission. So you can just leave this alone or add something in. I'm going to add in duck, because this is the same permission I was using to test this earlier today. So I know I already have this permission, so it'll work correctly, and I'll show you guys what happens when you get rid of it too. Actually, why don't I do this? I'll add something in random that I don't have to show you guys that it doesn't show up. And GUI icon. So this is where the plugin gets in. So go back into that plugin folder and load the material list. And if you're viewing this with an older version of the plugin, you might notice it's much smaller than it used to be. I did notice that a lot of the ones that were in here were not valid, and it was causing some very strange bugs with the plugin, and I did get rid of those. So you notice error is gone. Some of the things that you're probably thinking, that's a material? You can put that in stuff? Well, you probably couldn't. It was probably something that'd be in the world that can represent a block, but it can't go in your inventory. So, I don't know. We can use some balance. How about something gold? Let me look through. Gold. You know what? I'll do glowstone. And make sure you type these in perfectly with caps and everything, or just copy and paste, because if you don't, it won't be happy. Sorry guys. So copy and paste it in, and we're good. So let's save, and I already have this open, and make sure we have CFS reload, because you need to go and tell the plugin to go and find this folder again. And it'll say that because it's actually going and double checking to make sure this is correct every time, but nothing really changed. So let's go into our world. And I'm on the best computer trying to run a server in the in this at the same time, so I have to give it a minute. I'm sorry for that. Okay, and we should be good. So let's do something. Let's buy a command. So buy CMD or command. It's a little shorter, easier. And notice it says we have all the commands you can own, but we just put a command in there. So you're probably thinking, okay, that's odd. Well, remember we added permission. My player doesn't have the gag permission. Probably should have made that an actual word. So I can't buy it. But let's say, oh geez, okay, I really did not expect that. Hex user, and this is the how to add a permission for a specific user and permissions EX. You're probably, if you're using anything other than permissions EX, you'll look this up, or I'm doing this just to my player. You're probably going to want to do this as a group, and you know that you can look up how to add it in for groups. So, hey look, there's some group stuff. You'll find it. And I do remember, I think, add gag. Ooh, I got it right. First try. So ready? We're going to do buy CMD, and we're going to notice something. Oh, it's not empty anymore. So here's balance. So look, we can click to buy the command balance for 5 gems. We're going to click on it. You notice a few things are going to come up. So this is confirm. In the case you push something wrong or you decide you're going to change it. Deny, and one-time use pass. So you might be thinking, okay, one-time use pass? What's that? Remember, that's what we put in the file over here, so it can be one-time use. So the one-time use price is 1. There is an issue with this. I'm aware you're probably thinking, but what does the one-time use pass cost? So there is an issue with that, and I did hit deny to close this out, or you're going to end up with some issues. Purposeful issues. Actually, here, I'll just do it right now, just to show you what would happen if you tried to close it, and just hit escape. And let's go and, I don't know, buy CMD. You should be able to get this open, but as soon as you click on it, it's going to tell you it's already awaiting other commands. So you have to deny or confirm that last one already. So we're going to go buy, no, actually sorry, buy once, and then it's a buy one time. And we're going to put in that command. I think it was balance we used. Balance, and you're going to put in price after that. And you'll see cost of balance is 1.0. Remember, that's for the one-time use. Now you're probably thinking, so you can do it there, so why can't you do it in the inventory? It's confusing. I made it very difficult for myself to be able to get the one-time price from this menu when it was originally constructed. This menu wasn't anticipated for this, so the pass to be in here. That was added in much later, so it's kind of stuck that way. And for CommandsForSale 2.0, that is going to be fixed. So what's bypass? Hey, look, you got a pass. So you can keep clicking that as many times as you want until you run out of money, or and then hit either deny or confirm. Although you just bought a one-time pass, I don't know why you want to confirm it. You'd just be wasting more money. So hit deny, and we're gonna use balance now. And notice it worked. I don't have access to balance. Jeez, what did I do? Okay. Wow, what did I do? So you notice using one pass for one time, or using command pass, 0 remaining. So I don't have any command passes left. So if I was to do balance again, it is blocked. And same for bow. So let's go and buy command, and we're going to buy this command permanently. Confirm, and we're good. So now we're going to use balance. And I still don't have access to that command, but you notice it's not CommandsForSale that's causing that. That's another plugin that's blocking it. Or Essentials that's blocking it. Don't ask me why. I'm pretty sure that's default. Default to be able to use it, I mean. So it's kind of odd. But you can see the message is different. It's not blocked anymore. So for the most part, that is CommandsForSale. So one last thing. CFS. And I'm just going to hit enter. So you notice all these other things are going to come up. So command shop that requires a subcommand. So there's CFS reload, CFS add command, CFS add alias, and CFS update status. Update status is the last update, the status in the last update. The thing I turned off. So it's going to tell me it's off. Or maybe it won't. Okay. Oh, because it turns it off, but it already ran at the beginning of this, so it doesn't say that it doesn't have a result, because it did already try once. So we're good. Okay, so let's see. Is there anything else that I missed that I should be explaining? Let's see. Configuration files? Permissions. Ah, yes, permissions. So let's say your users are not operators, but you want them to be able to do stuff. So CommandsForSale.moderator. So what CommandsForSale.moderator is it gives access to all the commands of. So this is what CFS stands for. It's the longer version. I just use the shortcut. So subcommands of CommandsForSale, and it can view other players' purchases. So bot CMDs. Let's do TechnoWizard. Oh yeah. So there's one small issue. You can look up your own. But it does automatically block it if you put anyone else's name in. So if you try to look up your own name, it will block you. Just do bot commands. Or no, sorry, I used shortcut. bought commands, and then nothing else, just that, and then it'll tell you. So I bought balance and bow. But if I was operated, like, hey, I'm a console, I want to know that. Bought commands, nope, CMDs, geez, how many times am I going to do that? Techno wizard, and error. I'll look at that later. I actually do know what's causing that. It was an error that I could not figure out how to fix, and I will spend some more time figuring that out. It does work if you're not a console. So, yeah. I don't have another console to test that on. So, this is CommandsForSale, guys. And let me check one thing. Up, yep. CommandsForSale.buyExample. So, this makes it so if you have this permission, you don't have to buy commands. So let's say you don't want them to be a moderator, but you don't want them to have to buy commands either. So you don't want them to, yes, you don't want them to have to buy commands, but you don't want them to be a moderator. Just give them this, they don't have to buy commands anymore. And CommandsForSale.use, the reason this is even on here is because, you know, I kind of like having everything on. What this does is it makes it so the help menu works. So you've probably seen this before. Help commands for sale, and it brings up, I don't have access to it. I know that. So, you know, it brings up a little help menu. It makes it so that help menu actually works. This is there by default. You don't need to give your players this. It'll just be there. So, there you go. And I will add the bug to there. And external resources to go over this quickly. This does use plugin metrics, which means I can see some very, very vague data. Just, you know, tells me how many people are using it, basically. Not much else. It seems like a lot in here, but trust me, it's really not. Source code. I have all the source code up. You want to look at the source code? Be my guest. And again, I have everything that I get from plugin metrics posted, so you don't have to say which craft is he getting. It's not much, as you can see from here. It's really not that much. It's very vague information, like what Bukkit version you're using, how powerful the computer is, other things that are totally bugged. Java version. Java version is actually a lot more useful than you'd think. Server software, so like Craft Bukkit, Spigot. Spigot's gotten a lot more popular since the DMCA. And unknown. It's probably colder. Authentication mode. I should probably go over authentication mode. This is UUID safe, meaning that if a player changes their name, this plugin will still work. No questions asked. Unfortunately, if you're using offline mode, it tends to be buggy, so warning. Yeah, if you switch your name and you're on offline mode, you might find that it stops working, and I can't guarantee you guys that. I'm sorry, but offline mode just causes problems. MC stats revision, that's just what I have in the code. Archetype, you know, just power the computer. Server locations, this is not even accurate. I'm sorry, but this is not even accurate. When I first did this, I thought I was in Lebanon. It was just my server, only one that had it on, and it thought I was in Lebanon. I'm in the United States, guys. So, you know, not that accurate. And just the Bukkit version. So, and this is the edition log. So, guys, thank you for looking at my plugin tutorial, and I hope to see you guys using my plugin.